Welcome back to the couch. I have been recording these videos about my creative block, and it's kind of been like art therapy for me. So I've been giving my own treatment by talking about the creative block with a lot of people, both online and offline, and getting advice from a lot of people. And just really trying to find out where it comes from, why we have creative blocks, and especially what to do about it. It's kind of noisy around here. There's people outside doing something on the pavement. So sorry about that, but I'm not going to let that stop me from making this video. While I was on my quest on how to get out of my creative block, I have taken a lot of notes. I just took them on my phone and just listed them as I went along, as I got them throughout the weeks. I got tips from a lot of people from the Sketchbook Skool community. Thank you. And people who commented on my blog, on social media, anywhere. So now that I have this list of very practical tips mostly, I thought I will wrap this whole thing up by sharing it with you. I'm not saying I'm completely done with my creative block, but I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter. I can start projects again. I have started projects again. My ink flows again. So I'll just tell you what I've done. I will tell you what I've learned, but I'll start with some practical tips that I got from all over the world. So I'll just read them for you in no specific order. Be patient. Spend time doing nothing. Listen to your mind and body. Make some art with kindergarten kids. Have a creative object or an item of clothing that you wear every time you create. Wear it when you get stuck. Don't share your work. Visit a place or a museum that you've never been to or never drew. Hop into a new art supply shop to try and find some completely new art materials to find that spark with. Allow yourself a week or so not to draw, so that the pressure goes away. Lock away your art supplies. Don't do any sketching or painting for a set amount of time. Before you know it, you will be aching to have access to your supplies and favorite activity. Don't allow yourself until you just cannot resist any longer. Follow a creative workshop in a completely different direction, like a baking workshop. Write morning pages to let your thoughts flow onto paper. Get rid of the preciousness. Go messy in a cheap sketchbook on bad paper. Try something completely different, like lino cut. It helps getting new ideas to try. Going between two different disciplines of art can keep you from being blocked. Grab a pack of clay and exercise your hands. Play with gouache, crayons, ink. Spray water, let it drip or blow on it, or wipe it, or scratch it, whatever. Have fun. Try to illustrate your creative block. Take a break, it's okay. Watch TV, read a book, a magazine, go to the movies, listen to an audiobook. Recycle some ideas. Take time to look back at the art you have made. Just do a little something. Get together with a group to sketch. Be kind to yourself. Meditate. Go back to basics and draw like you are just getting started. Being your own awesome self is the most important thing. Mimic the style of another artist. Use their format or their equipment. You can't make exact copies, so through your mistakes, you will create your own style. Get out of your comfort zone and give yourself permission to play and experiment. Read a children's book. Visit a school art class as an observer. Watch kids playing. Take a live drawing class. Join a challenge like Inktober, Illustration Friday, or the 52 Illo Challenge. You follow a prompt, but it's actually about creating your own artwork and getting feedback. You see lots of new styles and media and end up experimenting a bit too. Relax, travel, read, sleep, rest, dance, and if the mood strikes, do art for yourself and no one else. Enjoy your time to do things with no expectations. Well, obviously these are really great tips and I used quite a lot of them. So here's a list of things that I did. I used different kinds of creative skills to focus on, like making this video series. I went to museums more often and I will continue to do so. A museum is just a great environment to be in, and even if the art doesn't inspire you right away, just being in a museum makes a big difference. Talk about the creative block. I drank less coffee, so I am more focused. I tried writing the morning pages, like Julia Cameron in The Artist's Way recommends. It's not really my thing. I started new creative projects that I didn't show and didn't share, and I like it that way. I found new routes to my studio and on my morning runs. I went to the art supply shop. Duh, of course I did. I bought things that I used once and never used again, like gold ink. Well, you never know, maybe I will use it again. But also pens that I really love and that I use a lot. And going to the art supply shop is just always fun. I found some new books to read that were inspiring. I cooked a lot. I experimented with recipes. I joined Inktober, which might have been a mistake. I really struggled. But I have this tendency that if I start something, I really want to finish it. So I did. And I was so glad when November came. So anyway, I did that challenge. I learned from that challenge to actually slack on things that I usually do religiously. Like, I really think I should post daily on Instagram and Facebook, do daily drawings, post them, share them. But if you have a creative block, it's kind of hard to do. So I let go. And letting go, that is just the biggest thing of this whole process, I think. Letting go and just, it's there and it will pass. And also I got into the habit of lying on the floor, which sounds a little bit strange, but I picked it up from a book. And if you go lie on the floor just for 5 minutes on the carpet, just with the straight back and your hands on the floor, and you look around, you see things literally from a different perspective. And if you do that a few times in a row, a few days in a row, it's very relaxing. It shakes your head the other way, and also you can do it inside of your head when you're somewhere else. So it's kind of meditative. If you're somewhere and you're bored of the situation or the place, in your head you can just think about how you would lie on the floor, look up and see the whole situation and the place from a different angle. I love that idea and it works. Also, one thing that happened, I didn't do that at all, it just happened. I found my favorite Lamy Safari fountain pen again. I thought I really lost it. I was convinced I would never find it again. It just fell out of my bag somewhere. But it was in a bag in one of those pockets that you don't know of. So I don't know how it got there, but I got it back. Then I also want to say the next thing about this. I mean, I am super happy I have this pen again because it's just the juiciest pen I've ever had. But it's not about the tool. It's really not. I mean, there are just so many excuses we can come up with to cultivate a block. Don't do that. I mean, Matisse was sick. He was very ill, and that didn't stop him from making art. He actually used his limitation his limitations to make art. He created this whole thing of paper cuts because that was the way he could do it. And if he couldn't do it, his ideas were taken by his assistants and he would just make the art anyway. There are people who don't have hands who paint. There are people who don't have fingers who play the guitar. I mean, you don't need your favorite music to play to make art. You don't need silence to make art. You don't need the perfect studio. There is no such thing as the perfect circumstances. You just, if you have the itch, scratch it. Do it now and don't wait for it, for something to happen, that everything will be perfect, because it won't. So, I'm still very happy that I found my pen back, because it makes things a little bit easier and a little bit happier because of the color. But it's not about the tool. That's just the point I wanted to make. Right, I have one more list for you that I want to share, because there's a lot of things that I learned. This is just a helpful list maybe to encourage you. Always support and encourage yourself. Don't worry when you feel negative, it's fine. Surround yourself with supportive people. Expose only what's necessary. Periods of inactivity are necessary for the creative process. Failure is part of your development as an artist. Without failure, there's no success either. You need to accept blocks as an inevitable part of your creative process. They will disappear if you do. You don't need to be original. Your style will make the difference. Show up. Be there so inspiration can find you. Find a collaborator to bounce ideas off or work on a project together. Do something different to disrupt the cycle. Jump, dance, run. Or do something different by drawing with your non-dominant hand. Work with unexpected tools. Your inner critic will get confused and shut up for a minute. Do what you like. Then you will like what you do. And then others will too. And by the way, you should please yourself, not others. Don't worry, the creative block will pass. So even though I am not sure my creative block has dissolved fully, like 100%, I've learned so much. And actually, I've had a lot of fun learning about it. And I really hope you had fun too, and I really hope it was helpful, the things that I shared, the interviews that I did, and the list that I just gave you. So I really hope that you won't get into a rut. I hope you get a lot of ideas and inspiration, and that you just make a lot of art. But if you do, get back to these videos, get back to the list. And I really hope that it helps you, and that it can encourage you to keep making art, and that you will know that it's inside you. So if it doesn't come out, maybe it's not ready yet, it will start itching again, and then you will be ready.